So, Tottenham versus Liverpool, a game with so much hype around it going into it. Two teams back on form after awful seasons last season. Two teams unbeaten after their first 6 Premier League games going into this game. Two teams who play a very entertaining style of football under two attacking-minded managers. There was a lot of hype, and going into it, the last time these two teams met, it ended 4-3 to Liverpool at Anfield. Well, it's safe to say that it didn't fail to live up to expectation in terms of drama, entertainment, but unfortunately, all the key talking points from the game aren't to do with the quality of football played, because once again, the refereeing in England has proven to be a disaster and has dominated the headlines. So, Tottenham, of course, ran out 2-1 winners in the end. Fair play to them at big 3 points, taking it right at the death as well through an own goal, 96th minute. But it was a game strewn with just poor refereeing decisions. All of these, particularly against Liverpool, it would seem, at least the big ones. So there's many key talking points from those awful decisions, but I kind of want to go through the game as a whole so that I can talk about a little bit of the football. But naturally, the key talking points all involve refereeing decisions, where I'll give my opinion, my honest opinion on them. Of course, I'm a Liverpool fan. I try not to be biased, but it does seem, it's now, I'm recording this a day after the game has finished, and a lot of the reaction is on Liverpool's side, on the side of the fact that the referees have seriously screwed up a lot of decisions. So we'll get into those as they come up. But the game started, it was a very kind of fast-paced start, both teams really going for it. It looked like it was going to live up to be a really good game of football, and so it started. I'd say both teams kind of having their fair share of possession, attacks, asserting themselves in the game nice and early. But I think all the early chances, in my opinion, were falling to Liverpool. The key ones, at least, we looked the more threatening of the side. I think around the 13th minute, Vicario makes a great double save for Tottenham. And then, of course, we reached the first major talking point of the game, the red card for Curtis Jones. Now, this for me, in my opinion, I'll start off by saying I don't think is a red card. I think by the letter of the law, we're not sure where we stand on these kind of tackles. I think many Man United fans will tell you they saw a similar one with Casemiro last season against Southampton that people thought was quite harsh, because it's one of those incidents where the player's foot has rolled over the ball into the opposition player's ankles. And when you look at slow motions, you look at stills, it looks a lot worse than what's originally intended by the player. But I think the key difference for me between Curtis Jones one and Casemiro, for example, last season is Casemiro obviously left the ground. Even then, I thought it's harsh because he's gone in for the ball, his foot's gone over the ball. What can a player really do to control it at that point? Curtis Jones, he doesn't leave the ground. He's gone in with his foot to try and win the ball cleanly. It rolls over the ball and then hits the ankles of, I think it was Basuma, who it catches. And painful one for sure. I think you give a free kick for that absolutely all day long. But surely no more than a yellow card, because it becomes slightly reckless. But again, due to factors not really in Curtis Jones' control, what can he do there other than just not make the tackle? Like, he's gone in for it, he's gone in fairly, he's won the ball. It's then the follow through of his foot has caught the top of the ball and rolled over it. I think it's ridiculous that we're seeing a red card for a tackle in a huge game, 26th minute as well, so early. And Liverpool, of course, on top. It changes the entire direction of the game. But this, unfortunately, isn't even the worst decision, as we'll come to see in the game. But that's an early one I disagree with. And it's one I could, if it was the only bad decision, I could probably get over. Say I don't agree with that. But we've seen it given before. I can see the logic of, yes, it's caught him in the ankle. It is dangerous play to agree. But like I say again, it's something that maybe needs to be reviewed as a way of how they referee football, because what can a player do there? But then, of course, as you'd expect, Liverpool going down to 10 men, we kind of see a little shift in the formation. I think it becomes a bit of a 4-4-1. Hakpo drops to play on kind of the right wing. Diaz on the left with our two central midfielders remaining, McAllister and Szoboszlai. And then we've got Salah, I think, as a lone attacker. I think the key would have been just to get through to half-time. It kind of would have been similar, even though it was 0-0 at this point, similar to Newcastle, just kind of stay in the game, don't let Tottenham run away with it. And then later on, I think we would have seen someone like Darwin Núñez come on to maybe try and stretch the game a bit more and grab the win. So we'd been there before. And then, of course, Spurs naturally they go on the ascendancy. They start to take control of the game a bit more, start to look a bit more dangerous, and they do take the lead eventually. But actually, before we get to that, despite Spurs kind of taking a bit of control, Liverpool take the lead. Also, we thought for a brief few seconds. Salah plays a brilliant ball through for Diaz, and he scores. And Liverpool are in front, but within a matter of seconds, VAR screen is pulled up, very quickly shown, and then bang, they've ruled it out. And this bothered me in the game. I was like, where are the lines? We haven't seen the lines drawn that we often do. And of course, this is the one that's come out after the game. They've admitted it was wrong. He was clearly onside. And what's worse is we've got our standard apology out of them when they've made a really, really factually wrong decision that they know is like, it's not even down to interpretation at all. It's just left the law. This is clearly onside. They've made a mistake. But hearing why they've made a mistake just made it even worse. Apparently, the VAR have thought that the referee gave the goal and have searched the gone, well, we can see it's onside. Quick decision, yes. Correct decision or whatever, or continue with play. Then play restarts and they kind of go, oh, they haven't given the goal, and they then once players restarted, I think because of the rules around it, can't then intervene. I don't know why, because if another major incident hasn't happened in the game yet, very quickly afterwards, surely they can rectify that. It's a huge, huge thing. Liverpool already down to 10 men. We feel quite harsh. And we could be a goal up. A massive, massive moment for Liverpool. It's not given. It's incredibly, incredibly poor from the referee, VAR team, all of them involved. There's so many people. There's so much protocol now going into these decisions, and they still get it wrong. It baffles me. It honestly does. But not a lot more needs to be said on that because a lot has come out from it. They'll make their statements. Unfortunately, it's nothing. What's going to be done now? Like Klopp said after the game, what does it do? It doesn't get us the points back. Doesn't do anything. It's just so poor. And we're supposed to be the best league in the world, yet we're seeing shocking decisions like this. And then of course, Tottenham go up and take the lead a few minutes later. Son scores. Can't argue with the goal. They're onside. Quick check for that. They get the goal. Well played from them, breaking through the lines. I think Richarlison was played in really well by Maddison. Cuts it back for Son. Yeah, they're 1-0 up. I think Richarlison then hits the post not long later, and it looks like, oh boy, it's going to be a long game. It could be like Newcastle 1-0 down, just going to have to hang in for a while. But just before half-time, we get a lifeline. Hakpo with an equaliser. Brilliantly taken. It comes to him, and he kind of gets on the turn, doesn't seem fully certain of it, and then again, just kind of swivels on it, bang. Brilliant finish. Equalises. Unfortunately, injures himself in the process. That's one we have to see now how long he's out for. I really hope not too long. I imagine now, we've got the international break coming up. My hope would be he maybe just misses the Europa League game and then the game against Brighton next week and is back for us after that. But thankfully, we do have a bit of depth in the attack, which Hakpo being injured is one out. We're going to find out later as we talk about the Jota red card that we're then down 2 attackers now, so not ideal, but it gets us level at half-time. Brilliant finish. Again, hopefully he's not injured. We then move into the second half, and Tottenham kind of step it up again, the stair ground. You expect they're playing against 10 men, they're going to control a lot of it, and they start strong. I think Maddison, 48 minutes or so, I've marked down, he had a curling effort from the edge of the area, brilliant save from Maddison, who then saves again from a Son volley in the 51st minute, so really strong start to this half for Tottenham. And then I kind of, in my notes, made a brief point about Van Dijk at around 53 or so minutes. Just someone who's standing out to me. He's making quite a few key blocks, getting clearances out of the box. Just small things that you're not really going to see in the official match highlights or thing, but worth noting because he's a player who got a lot of criticism last season. People saying he's not at his old level, but even if he gets close to his old level, was good enough. He's been solid this season, and this game in particular, he was getting a rock at the back and was really helping to lock Tottenham out as they tried to assert their dominance. Then Tottenham do actually take the lead. 59 minutes on the clock. I got this one, Richarlison, but offside. Son scored, but Richarlison offside in the build-up. So correctly, finally we sort of correct, offside decision call there. Good that they got that one right, I guess. And again, some small decisions worth mentioning as well. Salah booked for no reason, 65th minute. Well, booked for arguing, which is is the rules, but penalised for no reason. He's through on goal. he's got the beating of his man for some reason. I can't remember if it was Udogie or Basuma, I think, who was tracking back at that point as he was on the break, and pulled back for, again, it's just all these little decisions that were going against us throughout the game just added to the frustration on top of all the big key talking points. And it's just really, really baffling, how you see so many of these decisions go on, kind of the referees in these situations just doubling down on mistakes. But then we get to our next big talking point. So Jota, 2 yellow cards in about 2 minutes. The first, I don't know how it's a yellow card. He's tracking back, and he's caught the heels of Udogie, who's on the break, with no intention. He's not put a foot out. He's just simply running behind him, and Udogie's trailing the leg has caught Jota, if anything, and he's fallen over. It's an accidental collision. Free kick if you want, but not a yellow card ever. And a minute later, Jota has shown a second yellow for, yes, a foul. He's come in late. He's a bit rash, I think. The heat of the moment getting to him. He's clearly frustrated. He's on the previous yellow. He shouldn't be throwing himself in that respect, passion he's showing, but it was poor decision making from Jota there. You can't argue with the second yellow, but the first you absolutely can. There's never a yellow, and as a result, we're now down to 9 men away to Tottenham, one of the best performing teams at the moment in the league this season. And I don't know where to go refereeing at the moment. It's really, really bad. But as a result, Liverpool down to 9 men. Klopp makes a triple substitution. We see Salah, Diaz and Gomez all hooked for Endo, Trent, Konate. Really, really defensive setup. We have no attackers on the pitch at this point. We're relying on kind of Szoboszlai. I think Gravenberch comes on a little later as well for McAllister, who's also on a yellow and couldn't really risk getting him sent off. And yeah, so those are kind of our 2 only out balls, but the game kind of followed a pattern from that point, from the second red that we saw. Tottenham just really trying to break us down. We're standing resolute, really in there. Get a few breaks here and there. I think there was one Szoboszlai opportunity on the break, and I was, just begging maybe we nick this one. It would have been incredible after all the decisions against us. But at that point, after the second sending off, someone offered me a 1-1 draw. I was absolutely taking it. Unfortunately, despite all the incredible effort from the Liverpool players to hold on, own goal right at the end, we see Porro whip a ball in, kind of take a chance, just driving one low because the box is crowded at this point. Obviously, all men back for Liverpool, and Matip just tries to get a foot in because he knows there's danger in the middle of the box. Tries to get a foot in to put it out for a corner. Unfortunately, deflects it in. Last kick of the game. It's heartbreaking for him. He's defended really, really well, and he's obviously going to feel awful about that. But on the whole, what can I take out of this game? Just really, really good, resilient performance from Liverpool again. Really, compared to last season, where there was a lot of games where we were just not up for it, not at all there. Something was severely wrong with the team. You couldn't always make out why, but this year you can see things clicking a lot more. There's a real togetherness. 10 men, 9 men, all decisions going against us, continuing to fight. So for me, this doesn't dishearten anything about my expectations for Liverpool this season. Thankfully, Man City losing to Wolves, where you'd have expected them to pick up 3 points, maybe negates this in a sense. I mean, really, you've got to capitalise on it. We could have been top of the league, and it really sucks that we're not. But the good thing is we're still just 2 points behind City. We've got to just sweep this one under the rug, move on. Brighton next week's another tough game. They're going to be motivated to step back up as well, having been absolutely destroyed by Aston Villa this weekend. So it's going to be a tricky game, but we've got to get back to winning ways immediately, forget all the things that have gone against us, and hope that the referees do more than just, apologise. I think the guys who made the wrong decisions on the VAR have been taken down from the next games they're supposed to be on charge. Seems like a fair punishment, make an awful mistake in a huge game and get a day off work. That's and an apology was given. That's their way of fixing the situation, I guess. But we'll see. Hopefully there's big improvement. But yeah, could go on ranting forever, really. Overall, promising from us. Massive win for Tottenham on their end. Big confidence boost for them. Obviously, they've got to just take it. It's not their fault that decisions were given in their favour and against us. Awful decisions. Like, they can't do anything. They have to just keep trying, like they did. 10 men, 9 men there to keep trying to break us down and get the winner. They got it by luck, but they got it. So big 3 points for them. Will be interesting to see where they manage to finish this season, whether they stay in the hunt. I do think they'll be in and around the top 4. I don't think they're going to keep up with the title race, but remains to be seen. They certainly have confidence in their step, and are out of all cups except the FA Cup when that starts in January, so they have a lot of focus on the league. We'll see what happens. On the whole, happy with the Liverpool performance, gutted for the result and the awful refereeing. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below on the key talking points: Jones red card, Jota red card, Diaz offside. I mean, we all know that's been admitted as wrong now, but let me know your thoughts. What were your thoughts on Liverpool as well? Were you impressed? Do you think we're going to push on from this? Do you think the mental setback might be, knock us back a little bit? And also some thoughts on Tottenham, where they might fare this season. But I hope you've enjoyed this video, and please do make sure to like, subscribe and share. Take care.